Oh, I know, it's totally
I
horrible.
appreciate it.
But I mean, for me to go from yeah, and that's bad now. Yeah. It's like living on Barksdale House, right? Yeah. Driving off base.
Good morning. On behalf of the 2nd Bomb Wing, welcome to the Barksdale Air Force Base, 2nd Operations Group Change of Command. I am Captain Brandon Yarrington of the 2nd Operations Group, and I will be your narrator for today's ceremony. First, some comments on military protocol and ceremony etiquette. During the ceremony, you will be given cues on when to stand and to be seated. During the playing of the national anthem, military members should stand in a position of attention and not render a salute. We invite our civilian guests to join in honoring our nation by standing and placing your right hand over your heart. Additionally, all military personnel should stand at the position of attention during the presentation of the Legion of Merit and the Change of Command ceremony. Finally, we request all electronic devices be turned off or set to vibrate for the duration of today's ceremony. Thank you. During today's ceremony, Colonel Michael Miller will transfer command of the 2nd Operations Group from Colonel David Gordon to Colonel Matthew McDaniel. The change of command is an official, formal, and brief ceremony deeply rooted in military tradition. The primary purpose of a change of command is to allow subordinates the opportunity to witness the formality of command change from one officer to another. The ceremony itself is a simple and direct procedure. The guide on exchange represents the transfer of responsibility, authority, and accountability for the mission, airmen, and families of the 2nd Operations Group. The COVID-19 situation presents us with a unique challenge. However, our goal today is to continue the change of command tradition while recognizing the current policies and guidelines. The presiding officer for today's ceremony is Colonel Michael A. Miller, Commander, 2nd Bomb Wing. We are honored to have many special guests in attendance. Please hold your applause until all guests are announced. Air Force Global Strike Command Director, Logistics and Engineering, Brigadier General Eric Froelich, and his spouse, Stephanie. Spouse of the 2nd Bomb Wing Commander, Mrs. Monica Miller. Commander, 307th Bomb Wing, Colonel Stephen Kirkpatrick. Vice Commander, 2nd Bomb Wing, Colonel Scott Weiermuller, and his spouse, Mrs. Shauna Weiermuller. Interim Command Chief, 2nd Bomb Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Jamie Prince. 307th Operations Group Commander, Colonel David Anderson. We extend a warm welcome to Colonel Gordon's family, his spouse, Kimberly Gordon, their daughters, Caitlin and Laura, and those of us joining online, his mother, Beverly Gordon, and her spouse, Peter Friesch, and in-laws, Donald and Chandra Earhart. We also welcome Colonel McDaniel's family, his spouse, Elaine McDaniel, his daughter, Talia, and his son, Jake, and joining us online, his mother and father, Ralph and Nancy McDaniel, his father-in-law, Jim Rockenstock, and his sisters, Rebecca and Amy McDaniel. Finally, we welcome all commanders, directors, squadron commanders, chiefs, civic leaders, spouse, friends, members of the 2nd Operations Group, Team Barksdale, community partners, and everyone joining us on all social media platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem and the invocation by Chaplain Walker. The second bombing chaplain, Lieutenant Colonel Walker, will deliver the invocation.
Please pause with me for a moment of prayer or meditation. Lord, who commands the regions of heaven, today's rare treat is to entreat your blessings on our armed service branches, frontline warriors who dwell in your domain more than any of the rest of us. And to thank you in particular for the one who wishes he were up there more than in telecons. God bless the women and men who compose the 2nd Operations Group and all they do day and night to ensure your airspace is safe, free, secure, and sovereign. Everything from pavement management and pushing throttles to pushing 10. All together, what a team. And what extraordinary leaders you send us to serve and guide them. You taught me long ago that a miracle is a suspension of natural laws and expectations. Well, I see 2 of them in Colonel Gordon. First, a combat pilot / full bird / group commander who breaks off formation with senior leadership to engage lovingly with a small group of young A1Cs standing a safe distance from all those O's. And it's not a welfare check. It's not a sermon. No, it's not, here's something I know y'all don't. He's just being with them, listening, chilling. Wow. That's not something you see every day, Lord. And the other miracle is how you bend him all in half to squeeze him into that buff cockpit. Big dude, tiny front office. Lord, what a cranium. Remember when we saw him at the pre-deployment and he's reading like a history of 19th century Russian philosophical thought? That's sugar. Blessings received and eternal thanks. Well, the Gordons have been such a huge part of this Wings family and so beloved, we can only ask you to find them half as many friends as good as they got here at Parksdale, and they'll be landing in heaven. And to our incoming commander and his crew, well, everybody already knows and loves the McDaniels here at Parksdale, Lord, so we just ask for all the good things his family currently enjoys to multiply and ask your blessing on Colonel McDaniel's reapplication of all he knows and does as he slides into the OGC, and to see how many times he can use the word standoff in his staff meetings. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Walker. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The commander of 2nd Bombing, Colonel Michael A. Miller.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming here. General Froelich, Mrs. Froelich, thanks for coming. Actually to see Kim goodbye, so, you know, no crying, all right? But I want to say thanks for everybody for being here. Wall Street, thanks for being here. And all our distinguished visitors out there on, and guests out there on YouTube, welcome. And we're here today. It's a happy day / sad day. Sad day for the Gordons, happy day for the McDaniels. The Gordons, though, are headed off to Germany. So I don't think the sadness will last that long. And McDaniel, ready to take command, I don't think the happiness will last that long. So you guys got something in common. But in all seriousness, you know, we're going to hear a lot about what Sugar and the 2nd Ops Group did during his time in command here. But I was reflecting on it last night and really for like the last couple of weeks. First, when I first met you, you know, I don't know how we got on the topic, but the topic of my Harley came out. And he said, hey, do you ride motorcycles? I go, yeah. He's like, I do too, I love motorcycles. I go, what kind of motorcycle you got? He goes, well, I just don't have one, I have 3. And I was like, okay, I see where we're going here, all right. After that, we went on a couple rides together, and from there, we had a great working relationship. And you know, Sugar, I look back at the 2 years in command. You know, I had my marching orders when I took command from my boss. I shared those with you, and you took those marching orders and just absolutely destroyed my expectations to the point that, I mean, you blew me away with what you did with the Ops Group. Let's start with where we started, right? The nuclear mission. I told you my goal is for us to be the biggest nuclear and the baddest nuclear wing in global strike, if not the world. You turned that around and you said, all right, boss. And we did probably the first generation on the APA in I don't know how many years, and then followed it up in Global Thunder with the largest nuke generation Barksdale has seen in like 13 years, right? 10 for 10 sorties during that launch and absolutely crushed it. And it was amazing. I was like, okay, he gets it, he gets it. And then I said, you know what, I want to empower my squadron commanders. I want to empower them to lead. I want them to be able to pick up the wing, go on an island in the middle of the Pacific, and I want them to be able to lead. He said, okay, I can do that. And you did that. You comprised a team of over 400 folks from this wing, took them over to Europe, and you flew some of the most outstanding European bomber task force stories that this wing has flown to date. And they did it absolutely professionally and just blew us out of the water. And he said, boss, don't worry, man, they got it. And I was like, all right, we got it. We did 2 CBP deployments, right? Crush it. We actually closed out CBP, right? We closed it out. And now we're living through the Bomber Task Force era. And you know, what most people don't understand is when you hear Bomber Task Force, the abbreviation is BTF, and what most people don't realize, it actually stands for the Barksdale Task Force, right? Because I think we're going on our 6th BTF in about 12 months, coming up here soon. So you've taken the Bomber Task Force. Just think about it. Two of those were rapid responses to Iranian aggression. Rapid response to Iranian aggression. Your squadron's absolutely knocked it out of the park. 28th Bomb Squadron did both of those. The 96 was out at CBP, came back, held down the IRF for the nuclear mission. They turned around and started picking up the initial response task force. They're already on their 2nd BTF. What you have done with B-52 operations, post-CBP, post the 6-month deployments to the desert, has been absolutely phenomenal. And you're going to be handing Angus off a sharpened weapon of war that is ready to take it to the enemy 500 pounds at a time, anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world, excuse me. So Sugar, thank you for doing that. The impact, I hope on your flight to Germany, you've got some time to just look out the window and think about not just the impact that you had here on the 2nd Bomb Wing and these aviators, but the impact that you had on the defense of our nation and also in the defense of our allies around the world, and the impact that we all know we're having, because we get the intelligence briefings, the impact that you're having on our enemies around the world. That was you and your OG, and you should be proud of that. So take some time to reflect on that. And then there's, you know, my second priority is taking care of the airmen. Just like Buddy said, you have an amazing ability to just sit down with your airmen and just listen, give them great pointed advice, and then shut up and let them march on and execute. You did an awesome job mentoring your folks. You did an awesome job mentoring me, taking care of me when I needed taken care of. And I'll tell you what, you absolutely did exactly what I needed with the airmen, and you just set the best example. And families, let's talk about families. And that's where Miss Kim comes in when it comes to taking care of families. Kim, I'll tell you what, I cannot express my gratitude. I don't know how to express my gratitude to you, other than to just say thank you so much for what you did for the airmen, not just of the 2nd Ops Group, but for the entire 2nd Bomb. Holy cow. Here's what I'm going to miss about you, Kim. I'm going to miss walking down the street and Casper the Friendly Ghost in your attic on Halloween, okay, staring out at me. And when I looked up there, I was like, what the hell is that? And it was a ghost. I'm going to miss baked goods wherever I go. I'm going to miss turkey hot dogs, or no, veggie hot dogs, I'm sorry, veggie hot dogs. And I'm going to miss the COVID-proof dinosaur, blow-up dinosaur T-Rex COVID-proof protective gear that you used to deliver cookies around base housing. And if you don't know what that is, she's got a couple of inflatable T-Rex costumes that she walks around housing with. I'll tell you what, and then, like I told you back there, your laugh, I'm gonna miss your infectious laugh, because nothing raised the roof on a party like your laugh. And I tell you what, you took care of the squadron commanders and their spouses, and you took care of everybody in the OG, and you were absolutely phenomenal. So your only requirement, like I said, is you need to call me once a week on FaceTime and just laugh, so I can hear you laugh. But thank you very much, and thank you to the girls. I hope you have so much fun. I hope you get to speak your German all the time, and just please don't forget us back here, all right? But the Gordons, you aced command, and you crushed it. You absolutely crushed it. I'm proud to have served with you, and God, I hope we get to do it again someday. I really do. So for Angus, he's not a stranger to the B-52. He's not a stranger to Barksdale. He's been here. He's been up at Minot, Squadron Commander up at Minot. He's not a stranger to the Pacific, where we seem to be spending a lot of our time right now, as he did staff in the Pacific. He's bringing a wealth of knowledge, and I'll say it, for standoff munitions, as he comes from from SMAC, the Standoff Munitions Application Center. In fact, the couple times that we had to answer the call for Iranian aggression, it was actually Angus that was helping us do that by planning those JASM routes for us. So he is no stranger to the mission of the B-52, and he's no stranger to Barksdale and the Barksdale Task Force. So, Angus, I'm so excited. I welcome you and Elaine. Elaine, I'm excited for you. You got a lot of baking to do to fill the shoes of Ken. I'm just telling you right now, you got a lot of baking to do. That's the standard now, is baked goods, all right? But I welcome the McDaniel family to Barksdale. I wish you the best of luck, and I just know you guys are gonna kill it, and you're gonna bring a new, fresh look and a new perspective to the 2OG and to the 2 Bomb Wing, which is a good thing. So my prayers go with you, and I wish you the best of luck, okay? And with that, I think we've got a medal to present to Colonel Gordon, and then we're gonna get your change of command and get you to work, Angus, okay? All right, everybody, the Gordons.
Thank you, Colonel Miller. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Colonel Miller presents the Legion of Merit to Colonel Gordon. Attention orders. Citation to accompany the award of Legion of Merit to Colonel David J. Gordon. Colonel David J. Gordon distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 2nd Operations Group, 2nd Bomb Wing, Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana, from 6 July 2018 to 2 July 2020. In this important assignment, the leadership, exemplary foresight, and ceaseless efforts consistently demonstrated by Colonel Gordon resulted in significant contributions to the success of Barksdale Air Force Base and the B-52 combat readiness. During this time, he directed 2 record-setting B-52 deployments to support United States Central Command objectives and provide bomber deterrence persistence in the Persian Gulf. His swift action ensured B-52s were on station in less than 48 hours and able to deliver the President of the United States' response to Iranian aggression. Colonel Gordon provided B-52 support to the United States European Command to include 4 Bomber Task Force deployments, upholding the United States' commitment to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization and European partner nations. He ensured uninterrupted bomber support to United States Indo-Pacific Command's continuous bomber presence mission and oversaw 73 higher headquarters directed missions and 2,000 flying hours in support of the Pacific deterrence objectives. Colonel Gordon reinvigorated B-52 nuclear operations through development and execution of the largest B-52 nuclear generation at Barksdale Air Force Base in 13 years. He also coordinated a $500,000 improvement to Barksdale's alert facility and managed an unprecedented 778% increase in support to United States Strategic Command's airborne alert aircraft. Finally, Colonel Gordon ensured the training and readiness of B-52 aircrew for combat operations through the safe execution of a $407 million flying hour program. Executing over 16,000 flying hours and nearly 3,000 sorties, his ceaseless efforts were instrumental to winning the 2019 Fairchild Trophy and the Brigadier General Frederick W. Castle Award for the Best Bomb Wing in the Air Force Global Strike Command. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Gordon reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. The singularly Thank you, Colonel Miller. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Colonel Gordon will now make a few remarks.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for coming, General Froelich, Mrs. Froelich. It's so nice to have you here. Thank you for being here. I believe you were at a change of command of mine in Minot a couple of years back, and I really appreciate seeing you here at this assignment. Thank you so much. Colonel Kirkpatrick, our relationship with the TFI just surpassed the 10-year anniversary of our TFI FTU, and that relationship is strong today. And I really appreciate all of the efforts that you put into making that relationship strong between the 307th and the 7th Bomb Wing. It's been phenomenal. Colonel Weiermuller, thank you so much for coming. Buddy, Thanks for the prayer. I really appreciate it. There's a strong tie between spirituality and levity, and you ride that tie very well. And I really appreciate hearing your prayers, and I thank you for coming today. And Trump, I thank you for putting this on. And by Trump, I mean Captain Arrington, who's my exec, so ask him about that sometime. Well, Colonel Miller, it's been an honor to serve as the 2nd Operations Group Commander for the past 2 years. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you so much for your confidence. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for allowing me to lead the B-52 operations and make this base amazing, and the B-52 mission amazing. You've built an incredible team, and that team is your legacy here. And I'm proud and honored to have served as part of that team. So thank you so much for everything. Fellow group commanders, what a great, amazing couple of years, huh? We've built a heck of a team as well, and I really appreciate that. When I sit down with my new squadron commanders, and I tell them, as a lieutenant colonel, my expectation is that you'll perform the mission, that you'll take care of your airmen and families, that you'll build your airmen, you'll manage your resources. And that's the expectations of a lieutenant colonel. But when it comes to what a colonel does all those things as well, but they also build a team out of organizations that they don't command. And between the 4 of us, we've built one hell of a team. It's been truly an honor to serve with you. I thank you so much for your friendship, for your support, for the focus on the mission and the mission of this base. I just thank you for all those times around the fire pits and really enjoyed that. To the chiefs, Chief Prince, Chief Brown, Chief Swanger, if you're out there on Cyber World, and all the other chiefs that we've served with. You guys are the heartbeat of the enlisted team. I'm so grateful to watch you work. I'm so grateful to have learned from your work and just to seeing how you mentor these young airmen to get the job done, because they truly are the backbone of our force. And I'm really grateful for that as well. To the squadron commanders out there and the ones that I've served with over the past couple of years, amazing, truly amazing. You guys get it more than in any group that I think I've seen in a long time. You guys understand how important it is to develop your airmen, how important it is to build those relationships amongst each other. This is a shining example of how a wing should be in terms of cooperation and working together for that common good and that common purpose. It's because of that we've achieved the heights that we have over the past couple of years. And I'm very proud of the chance to work with you, and I wish you all the best, and I hope that you continue to develop and your airmen to build the B-52 community and make us strong. To my family, both here and on the web, it's because of your support that I'm able to be here today. It's because of your support that I'm able to do this job. And I'm really thankful for that. To my kids, you guys are amazing. You truly are. A couple months ago, we passed the month of military child, and it is so true that military kids are like dandelions. They just sprout wherever they're planted. And they're so resilient too. And we can take a lesson from the kids in watching how they're just willing to pick up everything and move it all at a moment's notice, and they know that's part of the job. And there's seldom a complaint, but it's just, with Lauren having basically 8 schools going into 8th grade, and Caitlin switching up during the middle of high school. I'm just so proud of you guys. You guys are my support, and I really thank you for that. And for Kim, you really are the reason that I'm able to do this. And I'll tell you, you are one of the most patriotic people and self-sacrificing people that I've ever met. And it's truly amazing watching you. You're my conscience. Whenever I have a question of conscience, I bounce it off you, and I know that you'll lead me in the right direction. So thank you so much for your support. And finally, to the mighty OG. It's hard to believe it's been 2 years since I took command, stood on the stage. When I was last here, I'd mentioned that we're leading in turbulent times, and there will be challenges ahead in the next 2 years. I had no idea what those challenges would be. Who would have thought that we would end CBP, right? Or that we would deploy no notice to the Middle East to counter Iranian aggression, or that we would fly combat operations in Afghanistan, or that we would try to lead and promote readiness during a global pandemic. Nobody could have predicted that a couple years ago. But throughout this, the B-52 support to the world has been unfailing. When the commander of STRATCOM wants to test the nuclear readiness of his forces and ensure that they are ready, he calls the B-52. When the PACOM commander can't sleep at night because of what's going on in his AOR, he calls the B-52. When Iran attacks neighboring countries and the CENTCOM commander needs someone to stare them down, he calls the B-52. When the EUCOM commander needs somebody to engage with the allies and ensure that we have bomber support to NATO, he calls the B-52. A strategic pause, they call the B-52 in to take over the mission. When the carriers have to return to port because they're racked with COVID, they call the B-52. When there's a crisis around the world and national security is in jeopardy, the B-52 is always the first to the fight. No easy task for an airplane that's 60 years old. But it's not the airplane that makes the difference in the mission, it's the team. And I'm so very proud of what this team has accomplished over the past 2 years. What I'm most proud of, however, though, is the everyday leadership that I've seen from that team. Your mentorship, your sacrifice, your efforts, the long hours you put in to make the mission happen, the short notice deployments, the personal sacrifice, saying quickly goodbye to family, supporting your fellow airmen through personal crises, births, cancer, deaths. You guys have taken care of each other. That everyday leadership, mentoring each other, sharpening each other's skills so that the next generation can come along and take over the mission. Oftentimes we think leadership is big things, CBP deployments, BTF deployments. And those are the things that we seem to celebrate, but I want to tell you, the things that we should celebrate are those everyday pieces of leadership, everyday examples of how we take care of each other, how we build each other up, how we form this team that makes the mission happen. It's the leadership that we display every day that makes a difference to each other, to our mission, to our Air Force, and to the B-52. So the reason that we've had this success, it's not the airplane, it's you. You guys have gotten the mission done. So my charge to you going forward is continue leading every day. Build each other up. Make sure you are ready to lead the charge. I'm leaving the B-52 today in very capable hands. I've known Colonel McDaniel for a very long time. His heart lies with this mission. His heart lies with our people. And I know that he's going to do a great job in command and take us to the next level. Because there are going to be challenges over the next 2 years. I'm not going to predict what those will be, but 2 years from now, we'll have stood up and say that the B-52 is strong, capable of handling those challenges because of this team. Because you are a team, ready to make the mission happen. I wish the best to each and every one of you, and I thank you for making this an amazing 2 years. It's been an honor to serve as your commander.
Thank you, Colonel Gordon. On behalf of the men and women of the 2nd Operations Group, I would like to thank Mrs. Kim Gordon for her outstanding support and service to the men and women of the group and Team Barksdale. We extend our best wishes to the Gordon family as they depart for their new adventures in Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the change of command ceremony. The passing of the 2nd Operations Group Guide. Accountability, the mission, airmen, and families of the group from Colonel Gordon to Colonel McDaniel. The guide on bearer today is Chief Master Sergeant Mark Brown, Group Chief Enlisted Manager.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force Headquarters, 2nd Operations Group, 2nd Bomb Wing, Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana. Special order number Golf X-ray 011. Colonel Matthew W. McDaniel assumes command of the 2nd Operations Group from Colonel David J. Gordon, effective 2 July 2020. Signed, Michael A. Miller, Colonel, United States Air Force, Commander, 2nd Bomb Wing.
Officers, base. Sir, I relinquish command. Sir, I assume command.
Please be seated. It is my honor to present the Commander, 2nd Operations Group, Colonel Matthew W. McDaniel.
All right, good morning and thank you for joining the Gordons, myself, and my family for today's change of command. Although I wish we could all be here to celebrate together, it's wonderful to be joined by family and friends across the globe, virtually, as well as by all of you who fought your way through the pandemic, the heat and humidity, and whatever else 2020 can throw at you to join us today in person. First, I would again like to echo a special thanks to the distinguished visitors in attendance today, mission partners from across the total force, our family and friends and the warfighters of the 2nd Ops Group. General Froelich and Ms. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us today. You don't realize the impact you've had on a young operator as you're trying to tell me all about maintenance. I'm confident I've forgotten most of it. Thank you, though, so much for your mentoring, the education that I received while we were at Minot. Thank you, Colonel Kirkpatrick, Chief, and Super Dave for joining us today. I look forward to building combat power with you here and abroad, wherever the nation may call us. Thank you, Colonel Miller, for officiating today, and for your kind words. I look forward to serving with you, although it's a short time. Macho, Chief, and Team Barksdale, so thankful to be joining you, and I look forward to building the new team. Monica, thank you so much for all of your time and effort spent on the wing, and I wish the best of everything as you transition to the Air Force Global Strike Command here in the near future. To my fellow group commanders, leaders, and directors across the staffs, wing, group, and squadrons, I look forward to building combat power and growing our capabilities in the coming years. Sugar and Kim, thank you for your constant friendship and your ceaseless efforts to advance the mission and care for the men and women of the 2nd Ops Group. Your leadership has been exceptional, and the lasting impacts on your time here will be felt far into the future. Laney, the kids, and I will hope and wish for your safe travels and all the best to you, Caitlin, and Lauren, as you travel to Germany. You all be deeply missed. I'm truly humbled and extremely grateful to all the individuals who honed and mentored me along the way. And although there is a cast of characters who've helped shape me into the leader I am today, I would specifically like to thank a few. Mr. Tom Hesterman, thank you, sir, for giving me the reins of the squadron as a young weapons officer and letting me lead. Dave and Barb Harper, you showed me the value of hard work, friendship, and taught me that staying the course is the key to life. To Bart and Mary Helen Boggs, who were there at the start of my journey in the military. Turning to family, although they're unable to join us, I am so thankful to my parents and sisters, whose love and support has smoothed our way over the last 22 years, and to the Rockensock clan, who adopted me into their family and extended their friendship so long ago. I'm indebted to these two amazing families for demonstrating service to others, deep faith, and a willingness to go beyond themselves. Laney, thank you so much. Thank you for being willing again to step into the role and the challenges of command. It is truly a sacrifice, a selfless one. Thank you for supporting the men and women of the Ops Group, and I look forward to all that you'll do. But we will have to raise our baking game.